say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the boats passing in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
iRacing, you one of the best. You got him four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt. The world of outlaw.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Division, live right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And tonight, we're coming at you live from the Lucas Oil Raceway. And of course, my name is Chris. With me, as always, my good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, brother?
Hey, we're at Lucas Oil. I thought we were at IRP. Oh man, we messed up again. But hey, listen, it's hump day, man, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
It is hump day, and tonight we are bringing you the Allen Kennedy Memorial 100. Top 10 in points are listed on the screen for your viewing pleasure. It is Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, Justin Rigsby, J. Mack Jr., Al Smith Jr., Rex Hoyle, Bill Martin, Andy Lambert, Kevin Dillon, and Jeff Stiles. Rick, last week we saw, well, no good way to say it. We saw a bit of a wreck fest last week out of these guys, and well, they're going to be looking to clean it up a little bit here at Lucas Oil. Can it be done? Passing here is hard. Can it be done?
Passing here is hard. I mean, I've been watching guys during practice there where Al Smith and his new paint scheme, the number 96 Bundles of Joy, for the Kyle Busch and Samantha Busch Foundation. You're welcome, Al. I made myself get through it. So there you go. There's your mention for tonight. And that's it, because it doesn't matter how fast you are. You got to pass a lot of cars here tonight. So.
I don't know how you did that, Rick. It is about the cause, not the people behind it. I get it.
I mean, Samantha is fine.
Oh yeah, she is fine.
I mean, she doesn't know how to shotgun a beer like, Larson's wife or anything. I'm just saying, but I don't have to live with her, so I can deal with it.
Yeah, that's true enough. All right, well, listen, tonight's race brought to you by Rub and Rob, Racing Rob. I don't know what you want to call him, but it's Rob, and it's time to get him on up here and let him talk about this, Rick.
You gonna ask him how to pronounce his last name?
Nah, I give up on that. It's Rubbing or Racing Rob, and that's how it's going to be from now on. He is, however, one of our live drivers here tonight. Let's see if we can get him on there. Hey, Rob, give a wave. All right, brother. Hey, why don't you go ahead and talk about this memorial race here tonight?
Thanks, guys. So this memorial race, my wife's uncle, whose name is Alan Kennedy, obviously. We unfortunately lost him due to an accident in late July. So sorry about that. Forgot to push the button. When he was in the hospital, he was on life support. Gift of Life, which is the cause that is on the back of my race car, is an organ donation organization, nonprofit here in the state of Michigan. So obviously when I started doing this series for Racing for a Cause, it was kind of a no-brainer to me to put them on the back of this race car. And this paint scheme is actually his paint scheme from his actual race car. So I raced the paint scheme in honor of him, and then Gift of Life obviously is a good cause to support. Organ donation is very, it's not a real popular topic, but it's something to talk about.
Well, it's an important topic. I can tell you as a son to a father who's received a kidney transplant, not once but twice, it's extremely important. And I know it's an uncomfortable topic to talk about with your family, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. If it's something that you want to do, make sure, Rob, right? Make sure that they know and sign off on your license. My goodness.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it was one thing. He was an organ donor. Me personally, I didn't even know that. So once the process started going along, then we found out about it. So it was, it's a good thing. It really is. I just hope more people can talk about it.
Absolutely, bud. Well, thank you very much for sponsoring tonight's race. It looks like the 80 car a little slow out there at Lucas Oil. Do you have anything in the back pocket, or are you just going to keep trying some different things here tonight?
Man, Chris, it's been a rough season getting back into online racing with iRacing here. I haven't been on the service very long, so I'm still coming up to speed. Got some older equipment that I'm running on, so we'll see what we can do. I've had some good runs this year and hoping to have another one.
All right, brother. Well, it's not always about the equipment. It's about some seat time, and you keep coming week after week after week. You're bound to get better, and we look forward to that day.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate all that you and Rick do for this league. Andy for putting this on. My wife for actually letting me come out and race every week. She'll probably get a kick out of that one. All the guys at Team Attitude Esports, Matt, Justin, Jeff, Dylan, those guys have really tried to help me out this season. So hopefully we can get a good run for them tonight.
All right, buddy. That sounds great. And again, hope you have a great night. We will be watching more than one way this night, but we'll definitely be watching you out.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm glad you guys do this and put this on, so it's going to be a fun night. All
right. Racing Rob getting ready to go in his number 80. And I don't know, Rick, maybe it is Rubbing Rob here tonight because, it is tough. You take a hiatus from driving. Certainly you and I can talk about that. You take a hiatus from driving and then you start trying to get back into the swing of things, and it doesn't work out so good sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, we can preach about that all night long. You're absolutely right, Chris. But You know, good on Rob for doing this. Obviously, you know, I hate how we had to have races like this, memorial races. I mean, they're a good thing, obviously, to remember lost, you know, family members and stuff like that. But it's always sad when that happens. But good on Rob for doing that. And thoughts and prayers with him and the family. And again, yeah, a great life. I mean, that's one thing about me, man. You check on my license, it does say that I'm an organ donor. So definitely something that people need to think about. It does help somebody out. And listen, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I don't need the stuff anymore. So if I can save somebody else's life and give them, you know, even just a few years more of quality life with their loved ones, and that's what it's all about, man.
Indeed it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we should be kicking on over to the race here very shortly. No qualifying happening tonight as the grid was set from last week's finishing order. And just like that, here we go. Let's get that grid music up, Rick. I am getting excited for short track racing. Starting on the pole tonight, it's going to be the 01 of James Somke, and to his outside, the 72 of Andy Lambert. Starting in third place inside row number 2, it's the 44 of Mark Fravert. To his outside, starting his number 26 in fourth position, give him a hand for Kevin Dillon. Inside row number 3, it's going to be the 54 out of Carolina, it's Rex Hoyle. And to his outside, it's the 99 Attitude Esports machine of Justin Rigsby, starting in 7th tonight. That's inside row number 4. It's going to be the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Misfits Motorsports, number 81. Going to start to his outside. It's going to be Jimmy McIntyre Jr. Starting inside row number 9, it's the Dr. Noise Racing, number 39 of Bill Martin. And finishing first last week gives him a 10th place start here. It's the number 11 out of Smith Racing Inc. It's Brian Hacker, Rick.
And starting in 11th out of New York, Chris, the 45 of Justin Smith. Next to him is going to be the driver out of the Mid-South, the 22, Mike Holsclaw. And in 13th position, it's going to be the 53 Midwest driver, Colin Phillip. Starting at 13th, Michael Fravert, also out of the Midwest, in that 36, going to be starting in 14th. Smith Racing owner and boss man, the 96, Al Smith Jr., going to be starting in 15th. Attitude Esports, number 85, with Jeff Stiles, going to be starting in 16th. Smith Racing's number 1 car, piloted by Wayne McDuff III, Wild Wayne, going to be starting in 17th, and Rubbing Racing Rob at 80 from Team Attitude Motorsports, and tonight's race presenter is going to be starting in 18th. Then we got Zach Coldbeard Coyer out of the Mid-South in that 13, going to be starting in 19th, and rounding out the field is going to be Dylan Blankenship in the 05.
And that is
AJ Hamill. Don't forget AJ Hamill.
Oh,
AJ
yeah.
Hamill's bringing up the rear with his Empire Racing team, number 18. He's a live camera guy tonight,
yes,
too.
he is.
So
Zach,
he's going to be...
Zach Coyer is supposed to be Rick. I just noticed he might have forgotten something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all good.
Getting ready to go green first time here tonight. And Andy Lambert on the outside, a hot shoe on that start as he takes over the top spot. Kevin Dillon going to go in for second spot. He takes care of that in quick order. James Somke quickly heading backwards, Rick. Very quickly. He's now the 99 and 81. Here comes Brian Hacker in the 11, the 39 of Bill Martin, all looking to get around James Somke. Things happening very quickly on track.
Very, very quickly, Chris. Now, guys said very hard to pass here, but these guys are wasting no time. We're only on lap 2 of 100, and a lot of guys have already moved up multiple positions right now. And I'm just looking real quick. Looks like Brian Hacker in that 11, who is sitting in 5th, right side inside the top 5, has moved up 5 positions so far. James Somke, well, he's lost 6.
Andy Lambert, your race leader here, going into lap number 3. Oh, we got the 01 going around. James Somke backs it into the wall. Rick, we are under caution number 1 here, lap 3, very early on. Something just was never right with this 01 machine here tonight as he backed it right into the wall. Let's go back and take a peek. 01 coming down the front stretch. Oh, the 22. Oh boy, no wonder he backed into the wall. Oh, the 52. Oh my goodness. This is not how these guys wanted to start after last week. Let's go back one more time. I want to take a look at the... I don't even know. Thought I wanted to look at the 52. I do. Jeff Dillon. He comes in late. The 54, Rex Hoyle gets involved. The 45, Justin Smith, I think may have been able to keep his nose clean. He did. And that all started with James Somke, our pole sitter here tonight. Well, well, well. For those keeping track, we've had 3 green flag laps, 2 caution. Already under our first caution here tonight. Robbie B in chat. They can go get him, Rob. I want to thank everybody for turning in to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Of course, you are watching the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Series here tonight, live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I've got some live driver cameras for you tonight, and it should be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take a peek at who we got. How about this? It's the driver of the number 18. That's A.J. Hamill. And then we got the driver of the 96. That is Al Smith Jr. We got the driver of the number 11. Give it up for Brian Hacker, last week's winner. And we got Racing Rob out of his number 80 machine. Of course, we just talked to him not too long ago. I don't know what happened to Zach, but, you know, cold beer. That's the only thing I can think of. Cold beer, yeah. I know he got onto the server a little bit late. Maybe didn't have time to set it up. But he likes to be on camera. You know, he really likes to be on camera.
He does. He does. I've been watching Brian Hacker now. I mean, we got some good-looking guys up here, Chris, and you know, I want to mention, to AJ Hamill, I do see Bobby Labonte throwing the glove. Just save that. We're only on lap 7 right now, so you just hang on to that glove there, Bobby. We'll use that later. But I'm watching Brian Hacker, man, because I'm waiting to see the pup come up in the cam. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, show me the beagle.
He's on the hood.
He is on the hood. Well, Andy Lambert fielding this group of cars. He took the lead right off the get-go, heading into turns 1 and 2. Lambert leads this one. Here we are working lap number 7 under the caution flag. This time, though, going to be set up alongside Kevin Dillon. Dillon going to be on the outside as we get ready to go back to green. Caution lights are off on the Ford Mustang. Rick, I had this on good authority. The Mustang actually had to have 7 spark plugs removed so these cars could keep up.
That's so they could be replaced, you mean?
No, just so they could keep up.
I don't think so.
Heading into turns 3 and 4, getting ready to go back under green. Pace car on pit road. Andy Lambert in his number 72 set to take the green flag.
I wonder if Andy knows how to restart. I mean, how many times has he been up front? There he goes.
Wow, does he ever? Answered that question right off the get-go, Rick, as the 72 taking off. Nobody's going to catch him, at least into the first corners. And then Kevin Dillon holding on to the second spot. We got a battle going on here for fourth, 5th, 6th, and 7th. As Bill Martin starts to put his car up in there, side by side, along with Brian Hacker in front of them. It's
Justin Rigsby, baby.
yeah, Rigsby and Jimmy Mack. Lap number 10, man.
Oh.
Now, why you got to be going, oh?
Caution's out.
I see.
I was saying, oh, because guys were getting pretty close there. Oh, it might have been the 54 Rex Hoyle, Chris. It's probably not showing on your screen like it's not on mine, but that's where it's at.
Well, let's go back and see if we can figure it out. Oh, the 52 inside on the fence. Rex Hoyle running side by side with the 85. The 85 makes a little contact. Oh, lots of contact. The 54 hard into the wall. Oh, he comes off the wall, goes sideways. The 45, the 96, and the 53 making contact. Boy, that thing took forever to set up, and
It did.
a lot of cars getting damaged on that one. So, under caution number 2 of the evening, Rick, we got a couple bills to pay. What do you say we step away for just a moment?
Let's do it.
Back live here at Lucas Oil, and I'm watching these drivers who are live on camera, and they are chatting up a storm. I think they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, Rick, because again, this is what they were kind of looking at last week, and they did not want that this week.
No, a lot of drivers did not want that, Chris. And, you know, I have the chance to listen into the all teams radio, so I'm hearing all the drivers, and chat's pretty quiet. So when they're talking like that, you know that they're talking, you know, in-house on team channels, which I could listen to, but I like to keep it on all drivers there just in case. But yeah, I mean, guys trying to figure out stuff. I mean, you know, here we are, lap 14 of 100, caution number 2 in the books already, and you know, it's not what these guys want, man. They want to have a good green. I mean, Andy's liking it because Andy's still up front, but you know, everybody else, you know, they want to get these cars to a nice long green flag run and see what they can actually do.
On your screen right now, it's going to be Al Smith and his number 96. And guys, I gotta listen. I need some audience participation here on YouTube. I really need to know. I'm looking at Al Smith. Does it or does it not look like he has a bow tie on here tonight? I'm just asking because I really thought he did, and so much so that I talked to him at the beginning of the race. We're gonna find out here in just a little bit what you think, but I swear it's a bow tie. I think he was lying to us, Rick.
I think we're going to start calling him the professor.
All right, cars lining up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag here at, I don't know, IRP. It just doesn't sound right, Rick.
Lucas Oil, baby.
Yeah,
it says it right there.
I know,
Lucas
it says it
Oil
right there.
Raceway. I don't know how to get IRP out of that. It's LOR. We're at LOR race, you know, LOR. IRP.
This has been something we've been talking about since 8 o'clock when the server went live, ladies and gentlemen. Going back green flag, Andy Lambert in the 72, leading the way around turn number 4. He hits the loud pedal back under the green flag. Here comes the 81 trying to take over. Second spot away from Kevin Dillon. Oh, the 81 looking strong now. The 72 may not be able to get back down. The 81, oh, they're looking 3 wide, not going to do it.
Oh.
Holy cow, are these guys pushing hard.
They are, and that's what I was saying about last time, man, because it was doing the same thing, man. Oh, it looks like AJ Hamel in the 18. Chris, you keep live. I'm going to go back and see what happened to the 18 of AJ Hamel.
Looks like we're still going, but definitely had a little moment here for AJ Hamel, as it looks like Kevin Dillon going to try and take the lead over. Andy Lambert in trouble, stuck to the outside. Here comes the 26. The 26. Oh, the 72 of Andy Lambert fighting back on the outside. Not going to be able to do it, though. At the line, Kevin Dillon, your race leader. Bill Martin in the 39. He's doing very good out there. Trying to get there. Bumps into the 72. The 72 pushes back out to the outside and holds on the second spot. Bill Martin may have just let him back in after slamming the door, but I don't think he is going to wait too much longer. Bill Martin faster right now than the 72, the 39 down to the inside, heading into 1. On to the backstretch now, the 39 looking side by side with the 72, going to try and get there before turn 3. Bill Martin dives it into the third corner. Martin has to back off the 72, doing a great job on the outside. Who knew? Oh no! Oh. Lambert hard into the wall. That's going to cause some right front damage. May mess up the steering. Bill Martin gets around him to the inside.
And we're still hanging on tight, Chris, but not far behind him. The 99 of Justin Rigsby. and the 81 of J-Mac doing their thing. And of course, Brian Hacker, he's won here a bunch here at Racing for a Cause in the Super Late Model Division, trying to find his way up right now. Hacker is sitting in that 6th position, up 4. But so far, the biggest mover tonight, Chris, the guy who showed up late, that's the 13 of Zach Coldbeard Coyer, sitting in 9th position. He's moved up 9 since the drop of that green flag. Now, I saw a little while ago on lap 16 that AJ Hamill had some issues, and actually the, what car was it? It was the 53 of Colin Phillips, got into the back bumper of AJ Hamill, but of course we did standard green, so these guys finally getting their green flag run that they wanted. Bill Martin, he's no stranger to being up front, Chris, and he's working his way up to catch Kevin Dillon there in the 26th. Some interesting racing going on here tonight.
Yeah, racing seems to be happening throughout the field, trying to keep up. Just 2 guys among, well, down to 20 drivers now, as Dylan Blankenship did not start the race. But Bill Martin is right on the back bumper of the 26 car. Kevin Dillon doing a good job leading this one. Andy Lambert is able to hold on to 3rd spot. Justin Rigsby and Brian Hacker look like they're getting ready to do battle. Brian Hacker was looking a little bit down on that low lane, couldn't quite get there. Hacker settles for that top lane, and he continues on behind Rigsby. Behind Brian Hacker, it is the 81 J-Mac Jr. in that 81, the iStream TV machine, just trying to hold on to position for right now, maybe save some stuff for a little bit later. Meanwhile, just ahead of them, Brian Hacker looking to the inside. This one going to be a battle for the 4th position. Rigsby up high and Brian Hacker looking down low. Not going to happen on the back stretch. They go.
Now we're about a quarter of a way through already, Chris, here tonight from Lucas Oil Raceway, LOR. These guys doing a good thing now. You know, the thing about this race, so we
Lord of the Rings?
The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, see, I didn't even think of
that.
Oh,
no, 99 goes around, gets into Hacker. Oh, man, we saw that one live. Everybody able to keep going, but because the 99 went sideways enough for a caution here from the iRacing officials. Well, let's go back and take a peek. Oh, it looks like Hacker may have gotten into him just a little bit there, Rick. Hacker may take a huge step backwards here. Let's take a peek on the screen here. See what he's doing. It's hard to tell, man. He drives like ice cold. There's no emotion in that face when he's driving. Maybe a little frustration. Maybe trying to figure out, should I take this one?
You know, Brian is a very respectful racer, Chris. I mean, we've seen it so many times throughout the seasons here of you and I broadcasting RFC, and we know, as you know, it's been a long time, because that's how we got our broadcast started. But you know, Brian Hacker, being the gentleman as always out there on the track, he has claimed that last caution, so he's going to have to do a pass through. But it's kind of funny because, you know, I talked about AJ Hamill getting bumped into by Colin Phillip there on lap 16. Well, on lap 20, Colin Phillip was racing Rex Hoyle there a little bit, and that's what I was kind of leading into before this caution came out, as Brian Hacker goes down pit road for his penalty. Colin Phillip went for a ride there, but he got it off the racing surface and kept everything under green until this caution here. So a lot of guys trying to make some big moves here tonight already early.
So the 11 car is going to take the penalty. That is a drive down pit road and then right back onto the track at the end of the field.
Now what's going to be interesting though, so right now Brian Hacker down 7 positions from when he started here tonight. He's in 17th position. Now we know, you and I know, Brian Hacker knows how to wheel these things. He was great in the late models. He's been super in the super late models. It's going to be interesting to see how far he climbs up. I mean, he's got a bunch of laps to do it, Chris, and I don't think we're going to be seeing that 11 machine back there for too much longer. I mean, everybody here tonight that we talked to so far says you can't pass here at this track, but we're seeing a lot of passes going on. Zach Coldbeard-Coyer so far the one who's passed the most there, up 11 positions, sitting in 8th right now in the 13 Cold Beer Cameras machine. So we know it can be done, and I expect to see Hacker do just that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to just go ahead and say thank you once again to all the viewers out there. You are watching the Alan Kennedy Memorial 100 put on by Racing for a Cause, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and we can't thank you enough. We've got Racing Rob out there on your screen, left side. He's the driver of the number 80. He is the one responsible for bringing the race to us live here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Getting ready to go back to the green here in just a couple of laps, Rick. And what have we seen so far that has kind of caught your attention? I know for me, it's that this track seems a little bit more racy than we were led to believe during practice.
Well, that's exactly it, Chris. I mean, you know, going all through this, even throughout the week, I am part of the RFC Super Late Model Division Facebook chat, so I see a lot of things, and everyone was complaining about how you can't pass here, but I don't know if, I mean, iRacing did do some updates to the Super Late model, Chris, and I think they made it a lot better.
Well, getting ready to go back under the green. We're going to see if that's the case or not. Kevin Dillon leads the way. Bill Martin to the outside, Andy Lambert, J-Mac Jr. to the outside of row number 2. Here we go. Kevin Dillon with a good restart, but Bill Martin was kind of expecting it. There goes side by side, coming onto the backstretch.
That 39 has been the car to beat all season long, Chris, and right now Kevin Dillon doing a good job there on the inside on his 26 machine, trying to keep the 39 back there, but right there, now Bill Martin said, okay, later, boys. And look at J-Mac Jr. in the 81, right up against the back bumper there. 26 actually had to get hard on the brakes there not to take him out. J-Mac getting racy here.
Yeah, he sure is. So it's Martin, Dillon, J-Mac Jr., and Andy Lambert. Justin Rigsby are top 5, and we got Rigsby, who kind of got down out of the lane. And that's going to allow Al Smith Jr. to jump into top 5 range, Rick. Smith is on fire tonight. He's racing like a man possessed.
He's racing like a man who wants us to talk about his new sponsor.
I guess so. We already did it once, and that's all he get. We told him. And the nice thing about Al is, you know, he's part of the Turn 3 family as well as the Racing for a Cause family, and we already told him, look, we're not going to talk about you. I don't care what you do with your car. And he said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And we said that's fine.
On there. I think we need to send him away.
Yeah. Look, you're fired, Al. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm looking at his driver cam right now. You know where he would look good? He'd look good in a lobby with a guy named Bobby. That's all I'm saying. He'll get a kick out of that later, I'm sure.
All kidding aside, we sure do love Al and all he does out there on the track and for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, and it's good to see him having a nice solid run here tonight. He is following Andy Lambert, as it looks like we go under caution one more time, and Rick, it looks like Mike Holtzclaw, that 22 machine, having issues tonight, and this is number 2 on the evening.
Yeah.
Let's go back and take a peek, see what happened. The 36 working the inside, and well, I mean, you saw it right there. He was working the inside right up until he was working inside of the 22, because he just crashed right into him. That was Michael Fravert. So under caution again, Rick. What's that make? 4, 5?
We are up to number 4.
4. Okay.
Right. Now, one thing for anybody who is new out there on Turn 3 Racing Network, watching and tuning in here with Chris and I in the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model Division, just a couple of rules going on here. Okay, these guys only have one set of tires. They can go down pit road, they can get fuel, they can repair their cars, but they cannot take a new set of tires. That is the main rule here for Racing for a Cause on Wednesday night short tracks. And the other one is when a caution comes out, Andy gives these guys a chance to actually claim the caution, own up to starting that caution. If you do it, great. If you don't do it, well, then Andy has to go back and review the whole race and, to the lap. And I'm kind enough to actually take notes for him because it's hard for him to do while he's driving out there. But so he has to go back and look at the incident, and then point penalties happen. So very, very important for these guys to claim cautions. And plus it goes out to just respect out there on the track. So far tonight, all 4 cautions have been claimed.
all important things make this thing go round. Everybody has a role to play. The 22, Mike Holtzclaw now is involved 2 times in different cautions, Rick. Not one of them was his fault. He just kind of got tied into it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Obviously, this last caution here, Chris, and then obviously that first caution on lap number 3 was the 01 versus the 22. So the 22 did claim that one. The 30, I believe the 22 claimed this one also. So everything is good out there.
Looking back on the field from the rear bumper of the pace car, Bill Martin, Kevin Dillon, Jimmy McIntyre Jr., Andy Lambert, and Al Smith Jr., your top 5.
And you got Mark Frabbert, Justin Rigsby, Zach Coldbeer, Coyer, Jeff Stiles, and Wild Wayne McDuff III rounding out that top 10. Then right behind them, Jeff Dillon, James Somke, Brian Hacker sitting in the 13th position from his penalty. So slowly moving his way up. We got Rex Hoyle, Racing Rob in that 80 in 15th. AJ Hamill is in 16th. Mike Holtzclaw sitting in 17th now because of that last penalty. Colin Phillip is rounding out that field. Sitting there in 18th so far. Justin Smith and Michael Frabbert sitting out on pit road. I think the 45 is going back down, but he's got some heavy damage, Chris, and he's going to come back out and just try to, race what laps he can there in his 45 machine. See what he can do.
Well, I know one thing that we can do, and that's to get ready to go back under the green flag. Lap number 43 when we retake the green, and we've got Bill Martin, Kevin Dillon, Jimmy McIntyre Jr., Andy Lambert, your first 2 rows. Rick, how do you think Andy's feeling about restarting this one on the outside lane?
Well, the track has been very racy tonight, Chris, and we've seen guys make moves on the inside and use that outside. So I don't think he's too worried about it. He's probably hoping that J Mac or Al Smith Jr. maybe make a little bit of room for him to get down there, but time will tell. I think more than what he's thinking is obviously, I'd want to fall back a couple of positions because these guys do an inverted field from the winners. So the top 10 get inverted for the next race. And next week, I believe we head to Southern National. So this could really work out for guys like Andy Smith, Al Smith Jr., who's, up there in points. So it could get pretty interesting on how this goes out throughout the rest of the season.
Oh, Brian Hacker just got turned into just a little bit here by James Somke. Excuse me, that's not Somke, that's Wayne McDuff in the one car.
Yep. Somke used to be in the one.
He's the 0-1. Hey, that's tough. Hey, man, Justin Rigsby, something's still going on with that 99 machine. He is falling way back 5 spots. Oh, the 54 goes into the 1. May have had help. Yellow flag is out on Rex Hoyle. Oh, boy. Let's take a peek. We're watching the 54. Oh, yeah, he definitely had help. The 01. That's James Somke. And poor Rex Hoyle. This season he has not had a break. I don't think there's a single race where that poor guy has not got hit. Man. Back into the green, and it looks like we may need to just take a moment. We'll get right back to you, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to take a quick break. We will be back on the other side. Back live here at Lucas Oil. And I'll tell you, it's got so many names, Rick. I come back and I'm like, I'm not sure what to call it this time. I'm trying to stay with Lucas Oil, but we'll see. IRP does kind of roll off the tongue a little bit better.
It does, and I don't know why they changed it back when they did, Chris. I mean, they went through, it was actually, I think it was like the Indianapolis Race Park or Raceway Park or something like that. And it does roll off the tongue a lot better than Lucas Oil. Bill Raceway or LOR.
Yeah. Well, we've just about finished up. This caution is all of the vehicles are lining up 2x2. Bill Martin, Kevin Dillon. And then you got Jimmy McIntyre Jr., Andy Lambert, Al Smith Jr., and Mark Fravert, your top 6 getting ready to go. Zach Coyer, give him a nod. Plus 12 up in the 7th spot.
Yeah, he must have finally found his cold beer he was looking for and knocked his camera offline. Back to the green flag, Chris and Bill Martin.
Oh, we're going around again. Woo. The 44 may have had contact. And,
oh, boy.
Oh, man, that was right in the middle of the pack. As guys didn't even make it to turn 1 before we started going around. Oh, let's go back, Rick. This one right in the middle of the pack. Looks like the 44 may not have had a really good run. The 85 gets into him and goes upside down. And that's where he comes to rest, right at the end of pit road. Oh, no, he had enough momentum, flips him back over the onto the tires.
Well, let's just say that one was claimed quickly, Chris, and the 44 Mark Fravert having a misship issue there on that restart, so it just kind of bunched everybody up. I mean, that's one thing about short track racing. These guys very, very close. And yeah, a misship will do that. It'll just crinkle everybody up.
Oh, it did. Might as well look at it one more time from a different angle. Oh, man.
Miles had no place to go.
And back live. And besides Zach Coyer, we got to give another shout out here, Rick, to the driver of the number 18. We're looking in on his computer right now. Obviously, he's on VR. But kind of cool that you can see his sponsor right there on his monitor. But it is AJ Hamill up 13 spots in the 8th position. And Rick, when we were talking about the race to him before we got going, all he wanted to do was test out a couple of things. He had no feeling that he was going to be able to finish well here tonight. And right now he's inside of the top 10.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, think about it, Chris. We are just over the halfway point here of the race tonight. If AJ Hamill can stay there with that 18 machine, he would be looking pretty good going into next week, let me tell you.
Yeah, 3rd place start. That's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Meanwhile, though, what we have to do is we have to get some green flag laps here, or else this thing's never going to get done. Bill Martin's going to be your race leader still. In fact, nothing's really changed, Rick, because, well, we didn't make it into turn 1 before they were wrecking. Al Smith did get around Andy Lambert, so that he took over 4th spot. And the 81 was also able to get around, so McIntyre into 3rd. And Al Smith into 4th. Lambert into 5th position, Coyer 6th. Jeff Dillon in the 52, kind of quiet, but in 7th spot, right where he started.
Yeah, that's not a good thing or a bad thing, Chris. I mean, yeah, well, there's been some big movers, like Al Smith Jr. in the 96th and 4th place, up 11 right now. The guy who's sitting in 6th, we already talked about him, Zach Coyer, the guy in 8th. Obviously, AJ Hamill up 13 also. And then we got some guys like poor James Somke not having the night that he really wanted, down 16. You got Mark Fravert down there in the 18th position. He's down 15. So you know, I mean, if you can be at the halfway point and be where you started, that's really not all that bad. I mean, I know everybody wants to win the race, but you got to take that as a small victory.
Single file restart due to how many cautions we've had, and Bill Martin going to have a huge advantage here. Waiting for him to hop onto the loud pedal, see what Kevin Dillon can do. Dillon's best shot is just kind of stay on the rear bumper, and so far into 1 and 2 he has done that as we are back under green.
I mean, Kevin Dillon's really got to be careful, Chris, there in that 26, and you're absolutely right. He has to stay on the back bumper of Martin right now, because the guy right behind him, that black and yellow number 81 at J-Mac, he's been pretty doing pretty good here tonight. And of course, we got Al Smith Jr.
Big time wiggle, Rick, out of the 72. He holds on to it, but kicks it down to that low lane, and lots of drivers going around him, including AJ Hamill and Justin Rigsby. Way back in 10th spot now is Andy Lambert. Big time loss of 5 different positions for Lambert.
Yeah, that is a big loss, Chris, but you know who capitalized on that? That's the 13 of Zach Colbier-Coyer. Broke into the top 5 now, up 14 positions since the start of this thing.
Having a cold beer, getting it done here tonight at IRP or Lucas Oil, whatever you want to call it. It's short track action here on a Wednesday night, and Zach Coyer up into the top 5. He's got Jeff Dillon right behind him. Meanwhile, up front, Bill Martin just laid down his quickest lap of the race with a 22:08.
That's blistering.
Short track action happening live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Bill Martin, Kevin Dillon, Jimmy McIntyre Jr., Al Smith Jr., and Zach Coyer, your top 5. Oh, Coyer gets into the wall just a little bit. May have got a little damage to that right front. The 52 goes down to the inside. Here comes Brian Hacker. Hacker looking to the inside as well. Decides to go back up. No, goes back down. He's going to follow the 52 of Jeff Dillon. And now Brian Hacker goes side by side with Zach Coyer. Hacker looking to take over the 5th spot. Dillon just ahead.
Ooh, Coyer into the wall just a little bit, so that's going to allow Hacker to finish up that move, Chris. And, you know, that's something that I talked about not that many laps ago. You know, Brian Hacker was down, way down at the end of the field there, and now sitting in 6th.
We'll go aboard the cockpit of Brian Hacker, and we'll bring him up so we can watch what he's doing there. And you see that steering wheel moving just a little bit. Very smooth, actually, out of Brian Hacker. It's kind of neat to watch. Sometimes you see some guys saw on the wheel. He's sawing on the wheel on the straightaways. Very interesting there as we exit out of turn number 4 onto the front stretch. He's following Jeff Dillon in the 52.
You know what I like about watching Hacker, Chris? He's got the lean going.
Oh, he does, yeah. Something you and I noticed earlier, though, he kind of leans in the opposite direction. If you're turning left, you normally turn left with the wheel, but he kind of goes the opposite way.
Yeah, I mean,
the G-forces, man.
Exactly. You got to simulate that. It's working. It's working for Hacker, Chris. I mean, like I said, he's in 6th position now. Not that many laps ago, he was down towards the back. So the guys who are saying that they can't pass here, either they haven't practiced or they were just, you know, single car practicing. I mean, yes, IRP was very hard to pass that, but iRacing has done a fabulous job with these super late models, man, because, I mean, I've heard it all season long that they're a lot easier to drive. Some guys aren't quite happy with maybe how tight the car is, because they do start out very, very tight still, and they loosen up as the race goes on, especially here for Racing for a Cause, because these guys cannot take a set of tires. So once some tires get warm and worn down a little bit, I mean, you know, the car does little funky things, but Brian Hacker's got the lead. Oh, now he's got his blinker on.
He's got, oh, I saw that. I had taken him off from the screen, but I saw that. He's got some sort of lights going on as we fall back under caution. Not even sure why this time.
A beautiful piece of equipment that I actually had, but I don't remember who I gave it away to, but we gave it away to somebody in Racing for a Cause. It's the iFlag.
Oh.
You got rid of it, or I got rid of it because we got into VR and it doesn't do any purpose there.
I believe we're going to go back and look in on Justin Smith here on this caution. Oh, yeah. Rubbin' Rob gets into him, and the 45 gets into the wall. And I don't know if that's enough to bring out a caution or not.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where that is.
Well, I'm gonna blame it on that guy right there, just because. I mean, he did sponsor tonight's race, so I hate to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Rob, I believe, is bringing that thing down pit road. As it looked like he took that one. He's dropping to the end of the field. Back up front, it did, Rick, erase a pretty good sized lead for Bill Martin over Kevin Dillon. Now Martin's going to have to start all over again.
I don't think he's worried about it. He's very good in that car right now. What I did there.
I do.
And you know, Chris, we talked about it while we're waiting for Rob to set up his camera, and he was talking, and you know, we're like, oh, he's actually Dale Earnhardt Jr. And you know, I have the cameras very small here because obviously screen space is a an issue here, as you know. And Rob does kind of look like Dale Jr. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe he got a little haircut before he started racing, but he's got the glasses on now. Got that beard. Got the chewing tobacco.
Well, the big thing that he has is the skull gloves.
But you gotta have those.
So yeah, I could be. I mean, if you look real quick.
Look real quick. It's like, whoa.
Nonetheless, Rob Liedel, the one that brought out. Oh shoot, I said his last name, which means I said it wrong. Racing Rob, rubbing Rob that time by, brought out the caution, and well, here we are, getting ready to go back under the green flag here in just a couple of laps. Pace car lights still on. Rick, I've been told that they had to put a second spark plug back into the Mustang because it wasn't running quite strong enough. It was only able to do 85 miles an hour with the one spark plug.
Uh-huh. You know, 2020 has been crazy, and you know, there's a lot of things going on right now here in the U.S. And I'm just gonna let you have it because everybody needs to feel good right now. I mean, I think tomorrow I'm gonna put up my Christmas tree.
Oh Lordy, you do whatever you want to do, but if you could, please make sure we talk after the race and just bring up one word for me: coconut.
Coconut. Okay.
Just write that down on your notepad there.
I don't know how to spell that. I mean, I'm just putting numbers in here.
Coke a nut. That should do it for you. Lined up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back under the green flag. It's Bill Martin to the inside, Kevin Dillon to the outside. And then we've got Jimmy McIntyre Jr., Al Smith making up the row number 2. Smith on the outside, right behind the 26. Those two have a little bit of a history after last week, Rick.
Yeah, they do, and something that, you know, we got to keep an eye on. I mean, I'm not too worried about it there. Al Smith is a very respectful driver, but, you know, sometimes short track tempers happen, and, you know, that might... Ooh, J-Mac getting slow there. Oh.
Kevin Dillon dropping down to the inside. He's got a line on the 81. Jimmy Mack trying to hold on to second spot. Can he do it on the outside? So far, so good for the 81. Oh, the 96 bouncing off the wall just a little bit. No damage. Fiberglass body doing its job, protecting itself. And the 96 able to continue on. Kevin Dillon falls in line right in front of Al Smith Jr. behind them. It's a bit of a gaggle as you've got Brian Hacker to the outside of the 52. Jeff Dillon trying to get it done here tonight. Hacker to the outside, and Hacker with a bit of a momentum.
Yeah, Hacker getting the momentum, getting around the outside of the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Jeff trying to hang on there on the outs, or on the inside. Trying to keep that door closed a little bit, Chris. Now, just about a half a lap ago, I saw Al Smith Jr. get up to the back bumper there of the 26. Now, we talked about it, what happened last week a little bit. And Al Smith gave him the old bumper just to let him know that he just says, hey, Kevin, I'm here. Just so you know, I'm here.
Meanwhile, one guy who is not here, it's Bill Martin. Look at the gap he's got on Jimmy McIntyre Jr. It's about 9/10 of a second, but on a small track like this, Rick, it looks like a mile.
It really does, Chris. And if he wins, that means you get to talk with him tonight. It's your turn. I got to talk to him last week.
Oh, no. Well, maybe he'll run out of gas. 24 laps to go.
You know what? Bill Martin has such a lead right now, Chris. I think he's already heading, he just told his crew, he says, listen, you take the hauler and get it over to Southern National. I'm going to drive there myself.
Oh, we kid because, well, just because.
Yeah, we kid because we care. You know, it's all in fun.
Martin, we're starting to run away now, almost a 2-second gap between himself and Jimmy McIntyre Jr. Behind McIntyre, it is Kevin Dillon and Al Smith Jr. Brian Hacker has broken into the top 5. Hacker up 5 spots from the beginning of this one, running in 5th spot. He comes into tonight your points leader, so this is an important race. The 11 looking to the inside of Al Smith Jr. Smith running to the outside. Hacker was taking a peek, couldn't get there. Hacker falls back in the line in front of Jeff Dillon. Zach Coyer sitting in the 7th spot behind Dillon, and behind Zach it's AJ Hamill. Those are the 2 biggest climbers of the night. Zach Coyer up 12, AJ Hamill up 13th, Andy Lambert behind him. Remember, Lambert led the first 10 or 15 laps or so right after he took the pull away from James Somke, heading into turn 1 on the very first lap. Andy Lambert now marred back mid-pack in 9th position with the 99 of Rigsby right behind him.
And it's not bad for Andy because next week he will be starting in 2nd position, so he's back up front again. But listen, guys, we only got 20 laps left here to go in the Alan Kennedy Memorial 100 here from IRP, Lucas Oil Raceway, whatever you want to call it. These guys got it figured out now. Everyone's trying to figure out a way how to catch up to that 39 of Bill Martin, who is up 8 positions since the drop of the green flag right now. James McIntyre Jr., that's J-Mac in the 81, up 6 right now, sitting in 2nd, and he's starting to pull away a little bit from 3rd place there of Kevin Dillon in that 26.
Yeah, top 4 drivers really have separated themselves. The battle right now, the closest battle in the top 5 is between the 11 of Brian Hacker and the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Hacker in 5th, Smith in 4th. Those 2 cars pretty darn close to each other. And the 52, let's not forget about Jeff Dillon. Dillon looking to try and get one in here.
And of course, Dillon came into this season, Chris. He was the 2020 Spring Championship here for the Super Late Model Division. So been trying to race hard and trying to get things to work his way here so far. Not having much luck, but he's doing pretty good here tonight, sitting there in that 6th position.
Kevin Dillon searching around the track, trying to find grip for those tires. They might be used up. Al Smith starting to close back in on the 26. Kevin Dillon, it might be in trouble, Rick, as it looks right now. Al Smith a little bit quicker than he is every single lap, and he is starting to reel him in.
It really is, Chris. Something I noticed about watching the 96 Mr. Bowtie, Mr. Professor, he's got the lean started in now too, so he's really starting to crank it on. He wants to get up to that 26.
He is on that wheel. He's leaning forward. He is getting in all kinds of action right now. Al Smith going to be sweating here pretty soon. You're going to see him cleaning off the brow and everything at the end of this one. And it looks like Hackerdown just got into the wall a little bit behind the 96 machine. Al Smith Jr. running in 4th spot, looking to try and close this one out, possibly in the top 3, but he's got to catch and pass Kevin Dillon with just 14 laps to go. It's going to be a tough road to haul. He's got a little bit of a gap to make up first, 0.3 of a second between Dillon and Smith, and the gap between 1st and 2nd, Rick, forget about it, 2.5 seconds. Bill Martin over Jimmy Mack. 13 laps to go. The 39 is leading the way. The 81 looking very strong here tonight, just not able to hang with Bill Martin. Kevin Dillon holding on to that 3rd spot. Al Smith trying to close it up. And Brian Hacker and Jeff Dillon are right there, bumper to bumper. Front and rear bumpers are locked, getting ready to go to battle. The 52 and the 11. The 11 looking out of the rear view mirror more than he's looking out of the windshield. Same could be said for Al Smith Jr. though in the 96 as he sees the 11 sneaking down to the inside. The 11 almost had a run, couldn't quite get there. 12 laps to go. Martin holding on to that 2.5 second lead over J-Mac. And then it's Kevin Dillon, Al Smith Jr., Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon, all running nose to tail for that third spot. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all running nose to tail. After that, you've got AJ Hamill leading the next pack. It's Hamill, Lambert, Coyer, and here comes Rex Hoyle. Hoyle trying to get around the 99 of Rigsby. Rex Hoyle rebounding nicely from kind of getting taken out earlier in this race. Rex Hoyle is running in 11th spot, looking for a top 10.
You know, Chris, that's a very, very important position here. You know, we only got 9 laps left to go in this thing, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to take away that 2.6.
Ooh, Al Smith Jr. hard into the wall, able to hold it going straight, but may have damaged that car a little bit as Smith tries to regather it and still trying to stay with Kevin Dillon. Smith wants to get to that back bumper.
He does, and going back to Rex Hoyle, Chris, he wants to get around Justin Rigsby to take over that 10th position, because that means next week you're going to be starting on the pole.
Battle for 9th as Rigsby climbs underneath Cold Beer. Coyer couldn't make it happen though at the line. Coyer takes it back over, heading into turns 1 and 2. Back up to the battle for third spot. It's Dillon, Smith, Hacker, and Jeff Dillon. The Dillon brothers, Smith and Hacker in the middle. 7 laps to go. Bill Martin up front by a country mile.
I think it's more than, it's like country 10 miles.
He's 5 seconds ahead of Al Smith. A lot of damage to these cars out there. The fiberglass bodies trying to do everything they can to hold on, and I think they're all going to have to go to the body shop here after this week's race.
I'm keeping my eye on the 11 of Hacker, Chris, right now, trying to figure out a way around Al Smith, trying to look on the inside there, but he's leaving that bottom lane open, and Jeff Dillon has reached the back bumper numerous times here on Hacker's machine.
Big news out back in 10th spot. Now going to be Rex Hoyle as he drops down to the inside. He's battling with Zach Coyer for that all-important 10th spot. He's going to be looking for a pole for next week. Rex Hoyle to the inside, still battling it out. 5 laps to go for Bill Martin, who crosses the line, makes it 4 to go.
Coyer in the wall, racing hard with Rex Hoyle.
Al Smith's tires are angry at him, and he just tapped the wall again. So Al Smith trying as hard as he can to get to the back bumper of Kevin Dillon, just not able to get there. And the 11 machine behind him has to start thinking about himself and trying to get around to the 96. But the 96 tires, I think, are shot, Rick, as a couple laps in a row now. He has bounced off that wall hard.
Yeah, you see when Al comes off the corner, Chris, he slides right up towards that outside wall. So tires definitely angry. We only got 3 laps left to go. So these guys got to figure out where they want to finish and where they want to start next week. And
make it popsicle sticks, Rick. It's 2 laps to go. And we are watching Bill Martin as he is getting very close now to rubbing Rob as the 80 machine getting ready to go down a lap here, possibly with 2 laps to go. And Bill Martin coming out of turn 4. He is going to accept the white flag. White flag in the air. 1 more lap around this little track. Bill Martin has had the lead for some time, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to do anything about it. White flag out. Bill Martin on the backstretch, getting ready to turn it down into turns 3 and 4. That middle line right where he wants to be. And coming out of turn number 4, our race winner here tonight, going to be the 39 of Bill Martin. J-Mac going to pick up a 2nd spot. Kevin Dillon in 3rd. Al Smith 4th. Brian Hacker brings it home in 5th. Jeff Dillon, AJ Hamill, Andy Lambert, Justin Rigsby, and Rex Hoyle, your top 10. Big time racing going on here tonight. Let's take a look at some of our drivers. AJ Hamill, one of those drivers that had a pretty good finish here despite what he was thinking at the beginning. A 7th place finish for him. Al Smith, again, it looks like his tires may have gone away at the end of that one as he finishes in 4th spot. Brian Hacker going to pick up a 5th place finish here tonight. And Rob was able to stay on the lead lap. Rick, an 18th place finish for him.
I mean, kind of hard because, when these guys got to sign up for their race, Chris, and get to name them, they get to pick the track. And I wonder if Racing Rob's wishing he picked something else. But hey, listen, it's in the books now.
Yeah, there's no question. He's probably thinking, why did I pick this track? I could have picked New Hampshire.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to set up some post-race interviews here. Actually, we're not even going to go away. Why not? We're right here. We might as well.
I'm looking. My computer is, there we go. Acting a little funny.
Now, you funny too.
There we go.
All right, let's go ahead and get Kevin Dillon, the finisher in the number 26, bringing it home in third spot tonight. He finished one spot up from where he started. Kevin, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hey guys, I got you.
All right, bud. Well, a bit of a rough race last week, even to your own accord, based on the chat last week right after the race. But a good finish here tonight. Kept it clean. The 26 brings it home in third.
Yeah, we just got tight, like super tight in the center of the corner, and I despise tight race cars. So I just kind of settled into third and figuring it was the best I was going to get. So I just kind of settled in and just tried to make it to the end of the race.
Well, you did a heck of a job here in that Ford Mustang, and we're going to leave it to you now. Who do you got on that thing that you need to thank?
Sure, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Decals by Dylan, Vinyl Graphic Business in Pasadena. I want to thank RFC for putting on an awesome league, and you guys up in the booth at Turn 3, thank you for the awesome coverage.
All right, brother. Well, congratulations once again on a third place finish. That one was a big one for you tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Of course, we invert the field, so you'll be starting in, quick math, 8th.
Okay, sounds good. See you next week.
All right, Kevin Dillon bringing home third spot here tonight in his number 26. That leaves J-Mac, who finished in second spot, and Rick, I believe you caught up with him.
Yeah, J-Mac Jr., you got Rick Chris up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much, man. What a heck of a run here tonight. Up 6 positions to take over second. That means you're starting the ninth next week in Southern National, but let's not worry about that, man. Coming in second here at IRP, that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself, actually. I usually struggle here, and I was happy to finish where I did.
That's awesome, man. Hey, listen, you charged hard. You did a good job. Came in second there. So who do you got on that 81 that you'd like to thank?
I still got to give a shout out to my wife's business, Beth's Colorful Creations. She keeps all of our sweet tooths happy there. And just thank everybody from RFC, Andy, putting up the headache of running it, you guys up in the booth, and all these guys that show up every Wednesday night for some good old-fashioned short track hard racing.
There you go, man. Hey, listen, congratulations. Bring that momentum into next week, will you?
I'll try. I usually do not do very good for Southern National, so we'll see if it can keep going. But
all right, buddy. Hey, listen, congratulations. You have yourself a good night.
You guys too. Thanks.
And that was the driver of the number 81, bringing it home in second spot tonight, J-Mac Jr., getting it done. And speaking of getting it done, how about this? It's going to be Bill Martin, the driver of the number 39. And Bill, it's Chris and Rick up in the booth. I think I want to do something different with you here tonight.
What's that?
Just for funsies. How about you interview Rick? No. Listen, it took you a minute to get up there, and that's all, because it seemed like at the start of the race, it looks like the one car who had the pole a little bit slow, and you guys just were able to launch around him very quickly. You were up 8 spots. So much for the ability to not pass here. You guys disproved that all night long. What did it take to get up there? And then once you had it, any looking back at all?
I had to pee the entire race because I forgot to go before we started.
Oh, man.
And that is how I passed everybody.
Yeah, that adds like, or subtracts like 1/10 of a second per lap, I hear.
Well, I just really wanted it done, so I had to hurry.
All right, well, we're going to hurry up. Who do you have on the 39 that you need to thank?
Oh, I already peed. I'm fine
Oh,
now.
oh,
We can
good.
take our time.
Oh, okay, perfect. I didn't want
I
to
didn't
speed
just-
through it, so that's good.
I haven't been just sitting in the car the whole time thinking, boy, I wish they'd interview me so I go take a whiz.
You never know. Listen, you never ever know. So let me talk about this because I already brought it up once, but everything we heard pre-race was there's no way you can't pass on this track. It's just not a track you can pass on, and yet a lot of drivers came from the back to finish better than halfway through the pack. You yourself up 8 spots, the second place finisher up 6 spots, Al Smith up 11 to finish in 4th. So passing here really didn't seem to be a challenge if you hit everything in the right spots. I mean, it looked like middle lane in the corners. It looked like everything was okay. What was the general impression of the car for you?
This is probably the best track for me on the surface. And when it comes to the Sarah League, I think I probably have more wins at this track than any other. So passing for me ends up being somewhat easy. I don't want to say easy because it ain't easy. I have a lot of time on the track, so I figured out the quirkiness of it. And with the new tire model, you can pass about as good as you were able to with the original version of the Super Late. Obviously not the middle version that you couldn't pass even on tracks you're supposed to be able to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Where it makes Martinsville's outside line the dominant line.
Right.
Because that makes sense. But so that it was beneficial for that because I was able to make moves on the bottom. But a lot of it is just taking advantage of driver apprehension, especially on a restart, because people will take it a little easier on the outside on restarts just naturally. Because, after you spent 5 laps going slow on a track where everybody is likely to bounce and bang because passing is a little difficult, a lot of the time the outside line will take it a little bit easy and it gives you a chance to take advantage of it on the inside. And then other times somebody will try to get a run and it won't work and you'll get lucky like I did when I got the lead, which was purely because I had a better restart as far as shifting through the gears. When I saw Kevin hit, I think, into 4th, his car was a little sluggish and I wasn't, and that was basically the only reason I got up next to him so easily.
All right, so the point here is make sure you shift on time. Don't bog your engine down because it'll cost you a spot on track and eventually maybe make it 2, as Kevin Dillon went from the lead to 3rd.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things on tracks like this that you got to do and understand to be able to make passes. And at least half the field or more understands how to do that stuff. They're all great drivers. And this is like my best track ever. So I was expecting to win. Every time I go to it, I expect to win. And I also expect to spend at least half the race under yellow. So a lot of the time you just don't even get a chance because being so hard to pass, a lot of the time you spend half the race under yellow flag. So there was a lot of yellows, but they are all kind of contained to the first half. But I just got lucky. It's just where the cars were. I was able to get the passes that I did. I didn't really do anything special except put the car in the right place. Because, say I didn't get that spot on Kevin, I probably wouldn't have passed him because he was every bit as fast as I was. And to be able to make a pass cleanly like that on the bottom, because the guy's not going to give you the outside, you got to be at least a 10th or 2 faster. And I don't know that I would have been able to do that.
Oh, good commentary there, and that's exactly what I kind of wanted. Who do you have on the 39 that you need to thank this week, bud?
NARF, Native American Rights Fund is what it's called. For some reason, I always get just naturally. I keep bumbling and thinking it's relief. It's like, no, it's rights. It's a pot of money, basically, that goes together to make sure that the U.S. government ensures that the Native American rights that they deserve and have been given actually happen.
And that's a pretty important thing to have, and we do appreciate it, Bill. Thank you, and congratulations once again on getting it done here tonight at IRP or Lucas Oil Raceway or whatever else you want to call it.
Sweet track.
There you go. All right. Bill Martin, our race winner here tonight, getting it done in his number 39. And that is going to just about do it for us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. I want to thank everybody once again for tuning in live, and we really do appreciate it. And next week, well, here we go again. Next Wednesday night, same time, same YouTube channel, right here live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Rick, it was a fun race, bud. Thank you very much for joining me.
Very welcome, man. It was a good race. I mean, I started out a little rocky, Chris, but they finally got it figured out there towards the end. And, Lucas Oil didn't disappoint there at all tonight. I mean, obviously the guys can't say that you can't pass here anymore because we saw a lot of big movers. Of course, tonight's biggest mover was A.J. Hamill, actually, coming in home in 7th, moving up 14 positions from the drop of that green flag.
Yeah, congratulations to AJ Hamill for winning the Hard Charger Award. And that is going to do it from us live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Make sure you tune in this Sunday night, the final round of 4 for the Blazing, or of 8, excuse me, for the Blazing Pedals K&N series over here on Turn 3 Racing Network, and of course live on the PrideOutdoorNetwork.com. And that is going to do it from us on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Good night, everybody.